I want to tell you why you need to stop avoiding problems and start looking for bigger ones. Hey, welcome back. Jeff Heggie, Daily Success Strategies. Thanks for being with me today. So many people find it just natural to avoid problems. They want to find the easier way, not deal with the problems. I want to show you why you need to actually look for bigger problems that you need to solve. Now, over the last little while, there's been a few episodes I've talked about an upcoming book that's coming out in May by Dan Sullivan and Benjamin Hardy. It's called 10X is Easier Than 2X. Well, I want to start with something I've talked about in those episodes. If you go back to one of my recent ones, it's called 10X Goals. Really gives a good summary of a lot of the things that are talked about in that book. An outstanding book, so make sure to go pre-order it. But one of the things they talked about in there was a mastermind they were at, and the question was proposed: how can you grow your business by 10% this year? And what came out of that really was something that I think is really amazing, and we really need to look at and think about. Basically, someone stood up and said, you know what, that's a terrible question, because really, there's an infinite number of things we can do within our business to grow it by 10%. Now, if you had asked, how are you going to 10x your business? It's a much better question. And he talked about impossible goals, because if I'm going to look at how can I 10x my business, there's only a certain number of things that could even happen that might even make that possible. And so it really makes you focus on those certain things. And he goes into the book, the 80-20 rule, and the whole idea is 20% of what you're doing produces 80% of your results. If you want to 10x your business, you've got to put all of your focus, attention, energy into that 20% and forget about the 80%. And I want to get into that a little bit more in a moment here. But I heard Alex Hormozi in a post just recently, and he was talking a similar concept. Basically, he said it's easier to make $1 million than it is to make 100,000. Because to make $100,000, there's a lot of different things you can do. But what you end up doing is usually looking at ways that you're trading time for money. Now, to make $1 million, you're not going to trade your time for money and make $1 million that way. If you're going to make $1 million in a short amount of time, you've really got to be able to solve bigger problems. You've got to be able to figure out what the problem is that needs to be solved that's going to make that $1 million. And it's a lot smaller problems that need to be solved to make 100,000, 10,000, 50,000, whatever it is, versus $1 million. So it really, just like the same concept that Benjamin Hardy talks about, it really narrows your focus so that you can focus on the specific things that are going to get you those results. Now, Benjamin Hardy actually just spoke at a ClickFunnels event down in Mexico. And so it's been interesting to see. A lot of the people that were there are people in my accountability groups that I had told about this book. And so it was really cool to get some of the feedback from them. But even I saw Bill Allen post something today, said, if you've noticed, I've been a little less public. I haven't been out there as much recently. It's because I'm focusing on my 20%. So if you want to achieve your big goals, what is your 20%? What are the things that you need to focus on that are going to help you achieve those impossible goals? Because to get to the bigger goals, it can't be the same things that you're doing day in, day out. Now, what I said I wanted to come back to was something that I talked about in these episodes is probably over a year ago, but it's your not to-do list. And it's such a powerful tool to use. And I think as you go through this process to figure out what is my 20%, my unique ability that I need to put all my focus and attention into, your not to-do list is a powerful tool to use. How this process works, and I've used it in a lot of my masterminds, is you keep track of everything you do. Keep a list of all the things that you do, and then you start making a list of it. And as you go through that list, you've got to be able to say, is that something I can delegate? Is it something I can eliminate? Or is it something I can automate? And at least 80% of what's on that list, you need to do one of those three things so that you can be spending your time on your unique abilities. You know, whether it's a VA, whether it's a staff member, a partner, whatever it is, so many of the things that you're doing right now don't need to be done by you. And I've talked about the stories of my manufacturing company when I first was doing everything and had to start delegating. One of the biggest fears was they weren't going to do it as well as I was doing it. And the reality was they did it much better once I was able to let go of some things and delegate. And so you've got to overcome your own fears, your own limiting beliefs. But if you really want to 10x what you're doing, you've got to be able to do these things. You've got to be able to eliminate things. You've got to be able to delegate things. And you've got to be able to focus on that 20%. So I want you to think about that. And I'd love to hear it in the comments, in emails, whatever, however you want to reach out to me. Tell me, what is your 20%? What is your unique ability that you need to put all your focus, effort, attention into? And let me know if you're committed to that. Because it is a big commitment to say, okay, here's what I've been doing for however long. I'm willing to do something different. Because if you want to get a different result, you've got to do something different. What got you here won't get you there, as Dan Sullivan says. So wherever it is you want to go, what is it you need to change? Figure that out, and it's going to make a world of difference for you. Thank you for being with me. Be back next time.
Athletes put a lot of time, money, and effort into the physical aspect of their sport, but they often neglect the mental game. And the mental game, it's just as important as the physical. In fact, it's often the differentiating factor between good and great athletes. If you really want to reach your full potential, if you want to be a great athlete, you've got to pay attention to the mental game. Now, come and join us in the Confident Athlete program, where you're going to learn how to develop powerful mindset, extreme self-confidence, and really take your game to the next level. Come and check us out at confidentathleteprogram.com/membership.
Who you surround yourself with really does matter. The people you associate with and spend time with have a huge impact on who you become and what you do in your life. Hi, my name is Jeff Heggie, and I want to tell you about my Inner Circle Mastermind group. This is a group that's designed to surround you with like-minded high achievers who will help you to think bigger and amplify the performance of your business and your life while tearing down all the barriers that are holding you back. A mastermind is the fastest way to get you to the next level. If you're ready to network and connect with other successful entrepreneurs and influencers, go to coachheggie.com/mastermind.